and see if I can get your microphone a little bit better than now.
Okay.
Because, ladies and gents, it is almost time. It is time. It is 8 p.m. Sunday, January 6th, if I'm not mistaken. Welcome to the Surrounded by Details podcast. Let me transition here to the episode's thumbnail on YouTube. My name is Devo. I'm your host. Thank you so much for tuning in to the Surrounded by Details podcast on this beautiful Sunday. And we are not where we are normally. We decided to go down to Phuket and record an episode with Tiffany Teo. Welcome to the podcast.
Hi, Steve.
You need to go really close to the microphone.
Okay.
Yes. And how are you?
I'm good.
Yeah? As I mentioned before, we have some issues with the USB mixer here, so I will play around a little bit. If you keep talking there for a second, it should be fine. If it disappears, the people on the live stream can still hear you, but we might not hear you in the headphones. Okay. However, what brought you to Phuket?
I'm doing my training camp at Tiger Muay Thai.
Yeah?
Yeah.
You have upcoming fight, right?
Yeah, on 20 January for the strawweight title belt.
And this time not in Singapore, it's in Jakarta.
In Jakarta,
actually.
Yeah, it's my first time fighting in Jakarta.
Yeah. And I asked you earlier today, how do you feel about it? Because normally you fight in Singapore. But before we get into that, I almost forgot, because it is 2018 and also at the beginning of the year, just as throughout the year, the rest of the year, we're going to mention our sponsor, the Dreamcatcher Hostel Bar and Cafe in Bangkok. They are always supporting us. If you're having plans, have you ever been in Bangkok?
Yeah. A couple of times.
Oh, and where do you normally stay?
Sukhumvit.
Yeah. Which area on Sukhumvit?
The last time I stayed at this, I can't remember the name of the hotel.
But Dreamcatcher Hostel Bar and Cafe is the place to go because they have lovely people, lovely beds, and it's a nice location. It's close to the Lumpini Park. They are just a good place, and especially if you love craft beer. But I can imagine you are definitely not drinking craft beer at the moment. So shout out to the Dreamcatcher Hostel Bar and Cafe, and second out the Indigo Float Center here in Phuket, because they do also support us. We are giving away free floats, 2 a month. So if you keep on listening, you might be able to get a free float. And they also supported us with letting us use their office. Yeah, so we are podcasting right from here, and that brings us back to Phuket. And your fight in Jakarta. As I mentioned earlier, do you prefer to fight away from Singapore, or do you prefer to fight at home?
I like both. It's like pros and cons to both. The nice thing about fighting in Singapore is, my friends and families, they are all there. So it's nice having their support, and especially during fight week. I have to eat clean, and being in Singapore, I know where to get, the clean food, healthy salad and all. But being in a different country, I have to figure that out, and that's the last thing I'm gonna do during fight week.
Yeah, but isn't it also a little bit more pressure when you have your family around?
Yeah, that's the thing. So there'll be added pressure when I'm fighting in Singapore. So it's nice fighting overseas sometimes too.
Have you fought in Jakarta before?
No, it's my first time fighting in Jakarta. I fought in KL, in Sri Lanka. Jakarta is Indonesia, my first time. Yeah. And
what brought you to Phuket? Because you normally train in Singapore, but decided to move your training camp to Tiger Muay Thai.
Yeah, so what happened was, after my last fight, I was talking to Emilio. He's fighting for one championship too. So he trains at Tiger Muay Thai. And I knew that my next fight will be for the title belt. So he was telling me like the training at Tiger is really good, and he thinks that I'll get good sparring at Tiger because they have more professional female fighters. So back home, finding sparring partners has always been a big problem for me. So if I find a female sparring partner for MMA, chances are, I'm probably gonna fight her in future. So that's no win. So I came to Tiger, and after my last fight, I came to Tiger for a short vacation. I trained a bit, and I like the training here. So I went back home. I talked to my coaches back at Team Highlight Reel, and they thought like it was a good idea too.
For how long have you been around?
This is my end of my third week. So next week will be my fourth week.
So you spend Christmas and New Year's over here.
Yeah, I arrived on 18 December.
Yeah. And how did you celebrate New Year?
No, I didn't really celebrate. It's just another day back at the gym training. Yeah.
Now my microphone is fucking up, I think. There we go again. Yes.
Is this okay?
Yeah. No, my microphone phone just went out. I don't know. However, you didn't really celebrate because you're in your fight camp. And how do you prepare yourself? Because a funny side fact is that your opponent is also training here in Phuket, but she is at Phuket Top Team.
Yeah.
How does that work out for you? I mean, have you crossed your ways, and how was that?
I bumped into her a few times, like at 7-Eleven, Family Mart, getting some snacks. Yeah, she was really nice. We said hi, and we are pretty friendly outside the cage. I mean,
so no stare downs yet.
Nah, no stare downs.
Okay.
Yeah.
Do you pass Phuket Top Team sometimes just to see if you can see? Okay, she's training on that, or do you completely don't care at all?
Nah, I don't really care. Yeah.
Okay, that's interesting. How much do you know about your opponent? And I'm really bad at names. Her name is Jingnang Xiong, and from China. And how much do you know about her? Because she fought in one championship once before, right?
Yeah, just once. I watched her last fight, and I know that she used to fight for Kunlun before she got signed to one championship. So her last fight, I could tell that she's really aggressive, and she's pretty comfortable with on stand up. Like she likes to keep the fight standing up, even though she can grapple. Yeah, so it should be an interesting fight.
What do you personally prefer, stand up or do you like to grapple?
I like both, because I started with Muay Thai and boxing. Yeah, I'm actually pretty new to Brazilian Jiu-Jitsu. Like I started doing Jiu-Jitsu for about 2.5 years. So I'm pretty new to I consider myself pretty new to Jiu-Jitsu. Yeah.
So let's bring this back all to the beginning then. For how long have you been doing combat sports in general?
When I first started, it was almost 8-9 years ago. Yeah, but back then I was just doing it for fun. It wasn't. I didn't do Muay Thai like with the intention to
Are
fight.
you a competitive person or?
Yeah. In general, I'm pretty competitive. Yeah.
So that's what brought you professional.
Yeah, kind of. At first, when I had my first fight, it was more like a tick off my bucket list. Yeah, so I thought, when I'm done, I'm like, okay, a tick, I'll be done. So I would say, fortunately, I lost my first Muay Thai fight. Yeah, it was an amateur fight, and I was like analyzing the fight with my coaches, and they told me if I worked more boxing, they thought like I would have a better chance. Yeah. So I started boxing after that Muay Thai fight. So I went on training a year of boxing, and I had my first boxing fight, and I was invited to join the Singapore national boxing team. Oh. Yeah. So I went on boxing for about another year, so about 2 years in the boxing, and I also started doing Brazilian Jiu-Jitsu. So after 1 year with the national team, my coach asked if I wanted to do MMA because I could strike, I could grapple, so it was like a natural transition. Yeah. How
long did it take you to say yes? Did you think a lot?
No, not really. I took up my first professional MMA fight on like 2 or 3 weeks notice. It was really spontaneous. Yeah, so I remember
that could be good thing or bad thing. You don't really know.
Yeah, I remember I was at the bar with my coach, and he was preparing for his he was coming out of his own promotion, Singapore Fighting Championship. So he was asking if I'm keen to like do an MMA fight. I was like, yeah, why not? I mean, I can strike, I can grapple. Sounds like a good idea.
Yeah, I want to punch people in the face. Have you always been an aggressive person? Because your nickname is No Chill.
No Chill, yeah. A little bit, I guess.
That's interesting. But you had a different nickname before.
Oh yeah, Soul Crusher. Yeah. I have quite a few nicknames. Like I just can't make up my mind.
What brought you to Soul Crusher?
I was inspired by my fellow teammate. His fight name was Kerala Crusher. So he was from India, Kerala. Yeah. So when I first got to know about his fight name, I was like, oh, that sounds pretty cool. Like I want something Crusher too. So that's how Soul Crusher came about.
And then you just thought, okay, maybe this sounds a little bit too violent. I just call myself No Chill.
Yeah.
What does it take to get Tiffany No Chill to that point where she just wants to punch you in the face? I mean, are you a calm person, and what brings you really, really out of your shoes, as we say in Germany?
What brings me out of my shoes? Being in a cage, in a fight,
What is it you feel when you go in there? I always wonder, because a lot of people say they feel home in there and they enjoy being in there. For me, that would be terrifying if I'm just about to get punched in the face.
Yeah, for me, before I enter the ring or a cage, I'm pretty calm. Yeah, so sometimes when I'm about to fight, people don't realize I'm gonna like the next bout is me because I'm so calm. They're like, oh, you're fighting next. Yeah, so
I guess it's time to go.
I'm really focused when I'm in the cage or a ring. So especially, but okay, well, for my first fight with one championship, I was a bit nervous because it was my first time fighting on such a
big
stage.
Yeah.
Because my first few fights it was with smaller promotions, with Singapore Championship and Full Metal Dojo. So it was really different. Yeah, so my first fight with one championship was pretty nerve-wracking, but after that I got used to it. I got used to the crowd and the support, and I really enjoy it now, stepping in the cage in one championship.
Yeah. That's interesting. I say that a lot because I find the lifestyle of a fighter for me is always interesting. And it's you get to do photos backstage and you get a little hint of how the people prepare. But it's always a complete different thing when you get to talk to the fighters because there's just so much more to it. The whole gym life and everything. Now also with the Tiger Muay Thai and Emilio and the pro MMA team that is training over there. It's it's a whole lifestyle, the whole fighting thing. So do you take this from the cage also to outside of your life, that you can stay calm in situations where you normally would say, hey, wait a second, that sucks?
Yeah, like it helps. Yeah, it helps.
Do that make sense?
Kind of, I guess.
How can you translate your feelings from the cage, what you feel when you are in the cage? You feel calm, excited. How can you translate that to your average day life?
I guess I would say it's like getting comfortable feeling comfortable in, how do I put it? Feeling comfortable when you're out of your comfort zone, if it makes sense. Life
starts outside your comfort zone.
Yeah, so being in a cage is, for sure, it's not a comfortable experience, putting yourself in a dangerous spot.
What did your surroundings say when you said, okay, I'm gonna go pro MMA? Because it's not a normal life choice.
My teammates were all really supportive because I was doing boxing and Brazilian Jiu-Jitsu, so it was a natural transition. But my family, they weren't that supportive at first. Family and friends who weren't doing martial arts, they thought it was kind of violent and dangerous. They were worried for my safety. Yeah, which is totally understandable. Yeah, so but now they're really supportive. They look forward to my fight. Every time when I'm gonna fight, they'll ask me, where am I fighting? If it's gonna be streamed live, they want to watch. Yeah.
That's interesting. I have to stop saying that, sorry. But your family, are they following you everywhere to every fight, or are they just on selective fights?
They'll be there for my Singapore fights. Yeah, if they are not there, they will watch online on the Toggle Sports or Octo. Yeah.
And what do you do? I mean, MMA obviously takes you a lot of time, but what do you do next to MMA? Do you have any time to enjoy the Phuket life? I mean, there's beaches around. It's not the easiest place to train, by the way, because there's a lot of tempting food.
Oh yeah, a lot.
that is not good when you are on a diet and when you have to prepare for a fight. But so, what do you do in your life here in Phuket and next to MMA? There must be more to it.
I chill, like I do a bit of yoga when I'm not training, and I go to the beach. And I can't. There's a lot of nice food around, but I can't really indulge in it.
Did I read an article about you? How you spoke about how you take yoga into MMA?
Oh yeah. I think yoga helps a lot with MMA.
How come?
The whole mental visualization, the mental prep. And like the breathing techniques, it helps to calm you down a lot. And stretching, I feel like it's really good for recovery. So on my rest day, sometimes I'll do yoga for active recovery.
You know about hot yoga? Sudisa, the yoga place here where I'm staying in Phuket, she does hot yoga, and that is exhausting. After that, you can't do anything. It's crazy. I tried it once, and at once it was. I never tried yoga. It's difficult. It's difficult for me as a tall person. It hurts. It really hurts. It's not really relaxing. I prefer to go float instead.
Oh yeah.
Have you ever tried floating?
No, I haven't tried. I always wanted to. I've heard about it. It sounds really relaxing.
Yeah, the Float Indigo here, they have a huge tank, and I can only recommend it. Floating is really relaxing.
Yeah, you just chill inside the tank.
And it also helps your body to heal itself because you don't have any weight on you, so you floating, obviously. and it's really relaxing. I really enjoy it. And yoga seems to me there's so much effort to actually getting relaxed. The payback is kind of, you know what I mean? You put all this work in and then you get nothing than pain.
Yeah. Usually during a yoga class, I'm like, oh, what am I doing? Why am I doing this to myself? But after the class, I feel really relaxed. Like, I feel that I'll stretch and
Do you ever get to that point in your training camps where you go like, why do I do this? And what is a good reason? Why should I keep doing this?
Yeah, sometimes when it gets tough, I always question myself, like, why am I doing this to myself, you know?
Yeah, what brings you over the hill?
Yeah, so I guess I just can't help dreaming the same dream. Yeah.
Dream?
Yeah.
Okay, tell me more about that.
Like after every fight, I just keep looking forward to the next one. Yeah, and ever since I got signed to one championship, since my first fight, I've been saying I'm keeping my eyes on the strawweight title. Yeah, and after 4 fights, it's finally happening. Yeah.
Does it feel unreal?
Yeah, it's kind of surreal. Like everything just within a span of, I've been fighting MMA for about 2 years, less than 2 years. Yeah. So it's really unreal. Like, you know, I'm having a title shot next in January.
Yeah, but when you dream, you obviously also, of course, dream of your victory. How do you picture yourself with a belt?
I think it'll be really overwhelming. I can't really imagine how I'm gonna feel when I have the belt on my waist. Yeah. So I might, I'm tears of joy, I guess. Yeah.
Just make sure to look in the cameras because it's always good, emotional for the cameras.
Okay, I'll keep that in mind.
Yeah. This might be a very stupid question because you always have to stay positive, especially before your fights. But I'm curious, and I'm a newbie still to all this fighting. Do you also have certain times where you say, "Oh shit, what if it goes wrong?" Or do you try to keep that outside of your head completely?
Yeah, there'll be days where you feel like you're not performing, and you just feel like shit on some days. But if you just remind yourself of your end goal, it helps. Like it helps to keep you going. Yeah,
you have to push yourself over.
Yeah, so you need to have like some sort of motivation to keep you going. So you have to know what you're after. Your end goal is really important, I feel.
The motivation is a word that reminds me of a question that I have to you because you do also work next to MMA and you help others, right? And what motivated you to choose the path you did, and can you tell us a little bit more about that path?
Like my previous job or my... Yeah, so previously I was working as a special needs therapist, with kids. Yeah, so it's really different from MMA. It's like fighting and working with kids, like two extremes.
But what brought you in that job direction?
So in university, I majored in psychology. So in my final year, I was working a lot with children with ADHD, attention deficit disorder. So I was kind of always interested in this area. That must be mentally exhausting at certain points. Yeah, it's mentally and emotionally exhausting actually.
That is, my mom works with elder people, and that you cannot just leave that at when you finish work time. It's something that you always carry around. I think that is, you have to be very careful in your job when you deal with these things. Yeah,
sometimes you have to learn how to like detach yourself from like certain situations.
You need to let it go. You need to manage your fuck budget. I always keep talking about that. There's an author, and she also had a TED talk. I recently had her on the podcast, Sarah Knight, The Magic of Not Giving a Fuck, and she talks about how to manage your fucks during a day. You have 5 fucks, and what is worth caring about, and sometimes you have to see a little bit further ahead to see what you actually deal with in the long run. Do you miss your old job?
A little bit. But I'm also enjoying what I'm doing now.
Of course, obviously you get to see a lot of stuff. But do you would that be one place where you say, okay, if this doesn't work out one day, when I get old, I get back to it?
I still see myself going back into like psychology because before I started competing, I was doing a lot of before this job as a therapist, I was working as a researcher. I was doing neuropsychology research and all. So I still see myself going back to that field. Like,
yeah, it's interesting. Again, I have to say it's interesting, but is it? How do I put this so it sounds right? You have Stipe Miocic, for example. He still works as a fireman. Could you see yourself to do both at the same time? Because how I don't get it in my head how certain people can do that.
Both at the same time. I find for me, I feel like it's kind of tough to like do both at the same time. Yeah, it's too draining.
You have to go 100% with either or.
Yeah, that's me. Yeah.
So psychology. Do you pay a lot of attention to your opponent's psychology when you're in the cage, when you finally stand across from the other person? Do you try to see the eyes and try to see what's going on there?
Not really. Yeah.
No, you just blindfold and then you go. Straightforward.
Yeah.
That's funny. Yeah, but I already asked you about your opponent, and you live on the same road, and you're about to fight in Jakarta now. Very soon, by the way, and there's a lot of promo stuff going on.
Yeah, a lot.
On One Championships homepage, onefc.com, you can find a lot of articles and videos for your fight, and I think tickets are still available,
it's still available
as well, because you should go to Jakarta sometime, especially when there's a One Championship event. And your opponent, I have to take photos of her tomorrow. I have to go to Phuket Top Team, and we had a photo shoot yesterday for some more upcoming articles on One Championship. And I have to say, you were a lot easier than the guys that I took photos of at Bali MMA.
Why?
I don't know.
So?
They're just too worried about how they look.
How they look?
Yeah. It was fun, but it was very easy going with you. How do you deal with the media? Because yesterday you had a media lunch, I believe, with the Fight Nation and some other media people, and the podcast, and then yesterday the photo shoot. How do you deal with all the media? Does it disturb your training, and does it disturb you mind-wise, or do you enjoy it?
It affects my training a little bit. Yeah, like so when the media crew came over, I was supposed to have like sparring at 4 p.m. but the schedule got,
it's
dragged.
always late. Yeah.
So
you can say it, don't you worry.
Yeah.
You can say it. Media is always late.
Yeah, so it got dragged, and I missed my sparring, so it affected with my training a bit, but it's all good. Like it's not too much, it's just nice. Yeah, so coping well with like the media and the training for now.
Yeah, do you prepare for this? Have you sit down and told yourself, okay, if I'm gonna be asked that question, this is what I'm gonna answer? Or are you going relaxed?
I used to have a rough idea of there are certain questions that everyone always asks. So, but now I just go with the flow and just answer.
Again, you have to go with the flow, especially on the Serrano Benitez podcast, because we can ask you questions.
Really random questions.
Exactly, really random questions. Exactly. What date is it today?
7 January.
No, it's the 6th. No, 6 was yesterday.
Yeah, it's
you
7.
see, random question and wrong answers. That is what you get at the Serrano Benitez podcast. For your upcoming fight and the media lunch and the food tempting sitting here in Phuket, that is very tempting. How do you deal with your food schedule? And I asked you before, do you use a nutritionist?
I have a nutritionist back home in Singapore, so usually I'll write down like what I eat, and I'll let her know, and she'll advise me, and I'll update her on my weight. Yeah, and how
you do that on Skype or Facebook?
Just through texting.
Yeah, that's so easy nowadays.
Yeah.
It's I'm deep shit into cryptocurrency, and just to send stuff so quickly, it's so much different from back in the days where you really had to be a Rocky, be out in the forest in the middle of the winter and send telegraphs and pigeons instead of text messages. It's fun. Do you close yourself off with your phone? Do you have a lot of friends calling and not only wondering about your fight, but you're also away from home? Do you cut your phone sometimes? Do you have a certain time in the evening and say, fuck it, I'm not gonna...
Yeah, when I sleep, usually I'm on like airplane mode. So usually after 10 or 11 p.m. You can't reach me.
What is the first thing you do in the morning? Because for me, it's literally grabbing my phone.
Yeah, the first thing I wake up, I check my phone.
It's an incredible invention, the whole phone thing. And I see
so reliant on it.
And I see Joe from the Float Indigo has joined us behind you. He's sitting on the sofa and on his phone.
He's sneaking, I didn't even see.
But you're sitting with your back to the door. And Joe is one of the people for the Indigo Float Center. So So we can just bring that up again. Tiffany, you need to go float. You need to try it out.
Yeah, for sure.
I know there is another Tiffany coming to town, Tiffany van Zust. She is giving a fitness camp here in Phuket, and we're going to have a podcast with her too, but that's going to be in Bali in 2 weeks. So it's a lot of Tiffany's on the schedule at the moment. Yeah, but you have the privilege of being out the first guest of 2018, by the way.
Yeah.
We haven't been podcasting, and
Nice.
I asked you outside, have you ever done podcasting?
No, it's my first time.
How do you enjoy it so far?
Yeah, it's fun.
Yeah?
Yeah.
I see sometimes people have a certain boundary, you know, they get very stiff when they talk on the microphone. And with you, also with a photo shoot, which brings me back to our photo shoot yesterday, by the way, you, as I said, are very relaxed. When you do photo shoots, do you have problems with dealing with what I'm trying you to do?
No, not really.
Yeah,
The
because
instructions are pretty clear.
I was wondering that last time when I was working with some of the other fighters, because sometimes I'm so much in my tunnel that I just do this and do this and do this, and I just take it for granted that the people do what I tell them. You have you have a certain power when you're on the right side of the camera.
Yeah.
So I just want to apologize on that
don't worry
in
about
case that ever happens. What did you had some scooter problems after the photo shoot? I heard Emilio helped you out. What happened with your scooter?
Yeah, the lights wasn't working.
That's a problem in the dark.
Yeah. So I got it fixed yesterday, so all good now.
Yeah, are you used to the traffic here in Phuket? Because that's quite different than in Singapore, I can imagine.
Oh yeah, it's so different. There's like a lot of motorbikes around. Yeah, but it's pretty convenient because I stay along the Tiger Road, and I don't really travel out much. I'm pretty much always along the road.
Yeah, but you have to take advantage of the beach. You have to go to the beach
go
sometimes.
to the beach sometimes. Yeah.
Do you have these epic evenings where you say, tomorrow morning I'm gonna go and go to the beach at 6 o'clock in the morning and I'm gonna run my ass off? And,
Nah, not really. Not a morning person.
Okay. Sometimes I get motivations to do stuff.
Yeah, but when you wake up in the morning, it's like, nah, it's a bad idea.
I have to clean up my room today. I'm gonna do it. And then you start and halfway through it's like, that was a bad idea.
Yeah.
No, but sometimes I really need to kick my ass out of bed in the morning. I enjoy to go up in the morning. We get a lot of stuff done. You a morning person in general, or?
No, I'm more of a night person.
Are you grumpy in the morning then?
Yeah, I need my coffee in the morning. You don't want to talk to me if I haven't had my coffee.
What happens if you don't get your coffee?
I'm really grumpy.
You see, people are too addictive to coffee nowadays.
Yeah.
I have that with Frappuccino Mocha.
Frappuccino?
Yeah, that is my thing. Jason Lim, thank you, and I mean that very sarcastically. You brought me onto this stuff because before I didn't drink any coffee, and then he introduced me, and I was just boom, 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 going from there. It's very addictive.
Yeah,
so once a day, or do you have coffee in the morning, afternoon, and evening?
About at least twice a day. Once, it's also my pre-workout, so I have it once in the morning, and before my afternoon training, I have another cup.
Yeah. Do you have a time where you say, okay, after that I cannot drink coffee because at 4 o'clock?
Oh yeah, usually my last coffee is about 3 p.m. Yeah, so if I drink after that, I'll have problems sleeping at night.
And I hate that we brought this subject of coffee up actually, because it brings me back to one thing that I always say when I have somebody from Tiger Muay Thai on the show. And don't get me wrong, it's a great gym with great people. Don't punch me in the face, but the coffee at Tiger Muay Thai, it's
bad.
I haven't heard good things.
I haven't had a coffee there.
But to be fair, it's there's a lot of gyms that can't really do coffee. You know, as stupid as it sounds, but Starbucks is the best.
Starbucks?
Yeah. I'm sorry. I went to Starbucks at Bali MMA, and I kind of knew it. As soon as I was sitting down in the gym, you immediately get judged. Oh, it's a fancy day. There's something with other people judging Starbucks. You know that?
Yeah.
I hear that a lot in
stand-up.
I hear that with stand-up comedian a lot, and it makes sense. It's true. There's something weird with Starbucks people, and sometimes I am guilty of that too. Sorry. Where were we? Preparation, coffee in the morning. You wake up and you get angry. What is angry, grumpy? That's the same thing. How does a perfect day for Tiffany Teo look? I always say Teo because it goes easier to say, but it's Teo actually, ladies and gentlemen. I see that on our live chat. Some people are wondering. It is Teo. Yes. So how does a perfect day look for you?
So usually I wake up about 9-ish in the morning, have my coffee, and my first session is usually around 10. Yeah, so it's either conditioning or no-gi. Yeah, and after that I'll have lunch, another cup of coffee, and MMA session. And the MMA is about 4 p.m.
Yeah.
Yeah, and sometimes I'll have like a private, pad work or I'll work some technique with my coaches, and I call it a day.
What's your worst day? Because for a lot of people that is leg day. What is your worst day? What do you prefer to do? Jiu-jitsu, sparring, conditioning? What is your favorite, and what do you look forward to the least?
My favorite would be no-gi. The least I would say it's a love-hate relationship. It's like wrestling. Yeah, it's so tiring, but yeah, you need to get it in though. Yeah.
But I guess once you start rolling, it's getting easier once you're in it. But it's a difficult thing to actually get to your workout. That is what I struggled with. I had a great start at the beginning of 2017, and then as further we came to the end, my workouts have been really shit from hero to zero. I have to admit, it's very tough. What kind of advice do you give to people who have these kind of problems? I'm not sure about Joe. He tries to avoid the question, but Are you a workout person, or are you not a workout person?
I work out, but I used to work out.
So you see, there is a lot of people that do not work out, and do not work out because they're just too lazy sometimes to convince themselves. What do you tell those people?
I would say find something you enjoy doing, so it makes it less hard for you to get to the gym or wherever. Fun fact, before I started, I used to hate sports, before I started doing martial arts. I hated PE classes. I would try to find every excuse to skip PE classes. And after started doing, I really enjoy doing Muay Thai and boxing. So I don't find like it's a hassle to go to the gym, or I look forward to going to the gym.
That's good. Something I wasn't looking forward to is all the hate I receive on the live chat about Starbucks, because I told you, man, people look weird at you. As soon as you start to talk about Starbucks, people just get crazy, all you dear little listeners. And if you take a break from your Starbucks hate out there, you can go on Tiffany's social media, because you have a Instagram account and you have a Facebook account. Tell me more about your accounts.
My Instagram is Tiffany MMA.
Yes.
Yeah, my Facebook, you can just type in Tiffany Teo. You should be able to find me.
Yes,
that's my Facebook page.
If you are blind and can't find Tiffany, of course we have all your links of the social media below in the description here on YouTube. So once you're down there, click on the link, support, give us a like, and let us know what you think, even if it's about Starbucks. If you have any questions to Tiffany Teo, then please feel free and forward those in the chat section here on YouTube while we are live. So that goes out for my listeners on Podbean, iTunes, and wherever you are listening from. If you listen to this episode later, then you should join us live, because then you can actually participate in the podcast. Because as more people we have, as more fun it is. And something that I saw last time I did a podcast is that we can have some issues with our microphones, and we also had some issues with our with our Wi-Fi last time, because I recorded a year recap from last year 2017 and couldn't really upload it because there were a few things going wrong, and we never really looked back at the year of 2017, and that is bothering my mind a little bit, because I put down some notes. I had a couple of funny facts, and I was looking forward to actually mentioning those. So I wanted to drift off here a little bit from your fight to your last year 2017. How did that go down for you? What was your highlight, and what was the low button for you last year?
2000, it has been a pretty amazing year. I think I fought three times in 2017, and I went to California. And
the States.
And I competed jiu-jitsu there. I managed to train there too. So it was a really amazing experience.
First time in the States?
No, not the first time, but in California the first time. I was studying in New York, Buffalo. So I was there for about a year.
How long was a year? And what can you tell us about the #Americans?
It's really different from Singapore.
What makes it different?
I feel like people are more friendly in America. Like, okay, just for example, if I'm waiting for the bus, people will just have like small conversations with you. But if you were to do that in Singapore, people will be like, "Oh, what's wrong? What's wrong with this person? Why is he talking to me?"
Yeah, that would be the same in Germany when you're on the subway. People would just be what? Mind your own business.
It's really common in US, to just talk to random strangers, which is kind of nice.
I like it. I do that sometimes, and I do that a lot with t-shirts. When I see a nice shirt, I just tell the person,
comment,
"Hey, you get a nice t-shirt." And often they're like, "What?" When I came to Phuket, where I saw a guy on the airport with a Star Wars shirt, Chinese, and I was like, "Yeah, man, that's a nice shirt." And he just looked like me. He just looked straight at me, no emotion at all, just being Chinese. I have to ask you, because you get to travel a lot, and I have a lot of people listening who are from different countries, and of course, obviously, you meet a lot of people from different countries, and you can be honest on this podcast. But do you have a nation where you just go, they are the worst?
No, not really.
No?
No, haven't really bumped into.
Oh, then you have never met a group of Chinese people on the airport. That can be a dangerous situation.
I've heard stories, like really bad stories.
Especially when you are flying from within China.
I haven't been to China.
Because there is just, they don't, there is a line, but the line is there to, the line is there just to be broken, if you wanna say so. The
nice thing is you can cut their queue too.
Yeah, you can do either or, but
I'm
too polite. I don't do it. I try to wait, and that takes a lot of time sometimes. That's that really sucked. I missed the flight, by the way, here. My first flight.
Oh yeah, you told me,
Yeah, that sucked.
Overslept.
For the first time ever, I missed the flight because of timing. I overslept. That sucks. Do you have flight stories, like horror scenario stories? Because a lot of people tell me about this, and normally I'm quite lucky at the airport, unless I meet a group of Chinese travelers. But,
no, I haven't really had any bad experience. Haven't missed any flights so far. Don't plan to either. Yeah.
Are you afraid of flying?
Sorry?
Are you afraid of flying?
Oh no, I used to travel a lot, like in my teenage years.
Yeah. Did you ever did you fly from the beginning, or did you start to work your way up when you were traveling? First bike, then train, then car?
Oh no, I started flying like.
Yeah, I traveled with a bus for a very long time until I could upgrade my hashtag artist life until to the airport. It's quite a nice feeling. I like flying. I spend a lot of time at the airport at the moment, and which brings me back to exactly the problem I asked you before, to motivate other people. It is very difficult to stay in shape when you travel a lot.
Oh yeah, that's really true.
Yeah. Do you deal as a fighter with the same thing, or do you always have those MacGyver solutions where you work out everywhere, just put a needle and a chair, and out of the sudden you have a I don't know, weight?
I don't, like, usually if I go on travels, like if it's a vacation for a few weeks, I'll probably gain a few pounds after my holiday.
What's the longest period you don't train?
2 weeks, 2-3 weeks.
Yeah. Then it's too much, or?
Yeah, it's too much, because when I don't train, I tend to eat a lot too. So it's
you like food.
Yeah, I love food.
That's a problem. As I said before, you can participate in this conversation and send us your question on the live stream. And so did Dominic Chen. He just wrote down. You were smiling already. What do you think is coming?
He's my friend.
So what do you think is coming? What kind of question could he ask?
Probably gonna troll me.
So let's send it away. Can you ask her about tripping over her own feet? Explain yourself.
Yeah, so this was the fight against Rebecca Heinsman. Yeah, so
when was that?
That was 2 fights ago in Singapore.
Okay, that was
before my last fight.
2 fights before the last fight. Okay.
So I think it was in May. I think if I didn't. So she was trying to take me down, and I don't think she managed to take me down. But what happened was, at the end of the round, so I think my corner man, they were shouting, it'll be a desperate takedown or something like that, and I tripped over my own feet.
So you basically took down yourself.
Yeah, I took myself down. So they have been laughing about that since then.
Do you get teased a lot for these kind
a
of
lot,
things that happen?
especially by Dominic.
Yeah. So Dominic, shut it down. Otherwise, Tiffany will punch you in the face, just as she almost did at our photo shoot. Because I posted a picture of us during the photo shoot. How you took my camera, and now I remember my question from before because I wanted to ask you: do you enjoy photos? Because you're quite active on Instagram. You like taking photos with your phone. Is that something you enjoy?
Yeah, kind of. Yeah.
Do you have a camera or do you just shoot with your phone?
I used to have. I have a camera, but I don't use it.
Why not?
It's a hassle carrying it around.
You really are no chill. I don't know. It's surprisingly to see how relaxed you are to just don't give a fuck about certain things. No, I just don't want to carry it. I don't care.
Yeah.
Do you have hobbies next to fighting that really keep you sharp? Because it helps to always keep doing something that you're really bad at. Now with all the steps you're taking in MMA, that is obviously something that you have a lot of success with. What do you do to keep your mind up sharp? What do you do?
Yoga.
I play chess, for example.
Yeah, yoga. I do a lot of yoga when I'm not training martial arts. Yeah, like recently I got my certification as a yoga instructor.
Oh.
Yeah.
How difficult is that to get a certification as a yoga instructor? Because
honestly,
in Germany, when you say you're a yoga instructor, it's like, okay, I see. I went to Thailand, man. I've done yoga sessions, man. You know, these kind of people. But there are obviously more to it. What does it take to be a yoga certificate?
So you have to go through I think the minimum is 200 hours of training. Yeah, so they will teach you all the basics, the history of yoga, and you have to pass a theory and a practical exam. So the practical is basically just giving a yoga class, teaching a yoga class, and they will assess you based on how you teach the class. Yeah.
Which you obviously have experience in with your previous work. You know how to deal with people.
Yeah.
So that helped, I guess.
Yeah.
How long did it take you?
It's up to you. So they have it depends whether you take up a daily, you do it every day for a month, or you do it only over the weekend. So if you do it every day, it'll take 1.5 months to get the certification. Yeah, if you pass, of course. Yeah.
Did you have 2 attempts? My driver license actually took me 2 attempts.
Fortunately, I passed on my first attempt. Yeah.
That's lucky. How much do you prepare? I've never been a prepared person. When I went to school, I saw all my friends and what's going on? Yeah, we're having a test today. Oh, can I borrow your book? That's the kind of person that I used to be. How do you prepare for your tests?
Yeah, I really prepared for it. I studied the notes and made sure that I knew.
Do you panic?
A little bit. I thought teaching yoga was more stressful than being in a cage. Yeah.
As I said before, sorry that I had to switch here, but because we're having a good day and it's the first podcast of the year 2018, I am literally taking almost every question that we get on our live chat, and also the weird ones, because that's what we do here at the Surrounded by Details podcast. On a scale of 1 to 10, how much do you love chicken rice?
Who's asking that?
Does that matter?
Is it Dominic again?
No, it is Andin Kadir.
Oh, Andin?
Yes.
8.
So 8. Yeah. Why not a 10?
It's not my favorite.
So what is your favorite food? What is the absolute 10 on your scale?
Absolute 10. I love beer and pizza.
Pizza, simple. You are easygoing. You are no chill. Teo. Well, Andin, I think we have answered your question. It's only an 8. It doesn't deserve a 10. Let us know how much you value your chicken rice so we can compare your opinion about this and have a discussion about food. Because sometimes you just need to do that. Do you read a lot, by the way?
I used to.
Yeah? What do you prefer to read? Like biographies, thrillers, fantasy, manga? What is your kind of thing?
A lot of psychology related books.
Have you heard about the book Sapiens, A Brief History of Humankind?
I heard of it, but I haven't read it.
I bought it on my way back here, and
nice.
I'm 35 pages in, and after
enjoying it?
It blew my mind after 5 pages.
Nice.
It's incredible because I was sitting at the airport and I was reading about your history as a human being, where you come from and why you do what you do, and doing that on an airport, I don't know, it just blew my mind. It's like, and now we are flying. 2018, it is really the future, and we talked about 2017 briefly here. 2018, obviously you have a big fight coming up. But what else do you hope to get from this upcoming year, 2018? I say it again, 2018, because it's so wild. It's the future.
Yeah, I'm hoping to fight more in the year of 2018.
How often do you, what would be your dream scenario of how many fights would you like to do?
At least 4 to 5 fights. It'll be nice. Yeah, especially I'm starting, my first fight will be in January. Yeah, so it'll be nice to get like at least 4 or 5 fights in.
Starting early in the year can be positive. And we're getting a question here from The One. And he is asking you, Tiffany, can you ask Tiffany why she left Juggernaut to a highlight reel?
Why I left Juggernaut to highlight reel?
Yes. Is that often a problem? I want to add to that question. Why did you leave Juggernaut to highlight reel? And is this always something that comes with it, being at a certain gym, to get a lot of weird views? Because you know what I mean. I don't want to be the Jerry Springer of how do you feel about this, so I try to be polite about it, but some gyms like it when you go somewhere else or cooperate, and some other gyms, they don't like it at all. So I would add to that question, why did you leave, and what are the pros and cons of trying different gyms?
Being at different gyms, you expose yourself to like different styles, I would say. Different styles of, you have different fighters from different gyms. You get used, because sometimes when you stay in a gym, you get used to certain styles of fighting, I would say. Yeah, so it's nice to go around different gyms. Yeah.
But is that something that you will do in the future, or are you planning to settle down once you have what you want from different gyms? Does that make sense? That sounds very evil, but sometimes you just need to out for hunting and gathering.
I think I would probably settle down with a gym, but I will still train at other gyms. Like even now even though I'm at Team Highlight Reel, I'm still training at Tiger Muay Thai. Even back home, I still train at other gyms. I go to like Legends Boxing for like boxing sparring, and other BJJ gyms to roll. So. Yeah.
Could you ever see yourself actually owning a gym? Because that is might sound fun, but it is a totally different game, because you have to take care of so many things. Would that be something that interests you, to start your own Tiffany Teo MMA school?
Not really, actually. I can see myself owning a yoga studio. But
there is nothing better than yoga for this lady. So teaching is something that you could see after fighting.
For sure.
I see. Do you coach yourself? When you're in the cage? I know a few fighters, they do that. Oh, you shouldn't do that again. And some people just go. How much do you criticize yourself during your fights, or do you actually wait and watch fights afterwards and then analyze yourself?
Yeah, like right after the fight, I would kind of know, how I'll evaluate my performance, like how I think I should perform and how I actually perform. Yeah.
Do you do you keep a diary on that and look back at certain experiences?
No, I don't keep a diary, but I have like a mental note.
Dear MMA diary, today I punched somebody in the face. January 4th, 2001. No, how 2001? How old are you actually? I never asked.
28.
28. So you still have your prime years ahead of you.
Yeah.
That is. I'm turning 32. You're 28. That means you are born in
89.
89. Almost 90s kids.
Yeah, almost.
Yeah, again, numbers of years now. It's just 2018. It blows my mind. The future is here. We talked about your dream scenario for 2018. Obviously, you want to win the Jakarta fight.
Yeah.
What are your last preparations now? Because media dates, we mentioned them. We talked about that. Your training, we talked about that.
Yeah.
But the fight is very close now. How does your schedule look like for the rest of the week that is left? Because then you have to go to Jakarta.
Yeah. So now it's like more of like fine tuning, like the little things. Yeah, and keeping my cardio up, like staying fit, staying healthy. Yeah.
You run a lot.
I cycle quite a bit.
Do you prefer cycling, running? Isn't that the same?
Yeah, but the traffic along this road, I don't really like to run along this road because the traffic is pretty bad sometimes.
Yeah,
there's a lot of motorbikes and
But with a bike, it's the same problem. There's a lot of traffic. Or do you actually just use the bike in the gym?
To go to the gym?
No, you said you bike a lot for your cardio.
Oh yeah, because there's like a air dying bike at Tiger. So
I never understood that. When you want to bike, just grab the bike and go out and do it. See something along your training. Why not?
That's true.
Yeah, that's so lazy. I have a big problem with that in Bangkok, because in Bangkok you have gyms and they have their windows exactly to the BTS and where all the traffic is, and it's just like, I don't know, man, it's so weird just seeing people in this little cubic thing working out. I mean, at least they work out. I shouldn't say anything at the moment because I'm very lazy, but at least when I used to go and work out, I used to go to the park in the morning, so I see something and I get to experience something. I never get this inside this cubic thing. Are you easily locked in to yourself and in your zone and look on your watch and say, oh, I worked out 3 hours instead of just 1?
Yeah, I guess it helps because it's not like I enjoy biking. I'm doing it because I have to keep my weight down and maintain my cardio. Yeah,
obviously.
Yeah, so
it is a pain in the ass because you have to do certain things just to maintain your weight. What weight class are you? Are flyweight, featherweight?
Strawweight.
Strawweight, yeah. Sorry. You see, this is why they say guys cannot do 2 things at the same time. I have the wrong tab open. We are talking about the strawweight championship belt. As I mentioned, tomorrow I'm going to go to Phuket Top Team taking photos of your opponent. Are there any messages that you would like to send over there? Should I write down something? Should I say, hey, Tiffany said you can go to hell. She's going to punch your face in. What would you forward to your opponent?
I hope she's having a good camp, and I really look forward to seeing her in the cage on 20 January.
Oh, you are ready.
Yeah.
Yeah. Would it? How is that when people shortly before a fight, when your opponent is falling out? I always wanted to ask that question. Might be a stupid question for fighters. They say it's man, that sucks, obviously, but
it sucks.
Can it be sometimes that you say, okay, I didn't feel good, because not every camp is going like great.
Yeah.
Sometimes you have camps where you don't feel so good.
Yeah.
Can it be a good thing or a bad thing?
Like falling out of camp?
Yeah, when your opponent is falling out.
No, yeah, it sucks. Like, ideally, it's a situation that I don't want to be in. Like, you go through so many weeks of hard training just for the day, and last minute if your opponent drops out,
then you could have somebody jumping in who could be your big breakthrough, because that is something I like about MMA. Sometimes these small changes happening, and
like
out of this, of the sudden you just go boom.
It'd be nice if there's a replacement, but if they fall out and they drop out and you don't have a replacement, is that you train so hard for the past few weeks.
I hope this question makes sense. It sounds weird, but I always wonder what fighters think in general about everything. It's just such a strange thing for me to be in that situation as a fighter, to be mentally prepared for your fight and know, in 10 days, 9 days, and 8 days. Counting down, you can't escape it. It's an interesting life you guys are living. Where do you see yourself at the end of the year? Champ or no champ?
Champ.
Yeah?
Yeah.
Was that a question or was that a champ?
Champ. No, this wasn't a question.
Definitely a champ. Tiffany, it is almost 9 o'clock. It's 8:50, by the way, and
that's fast.
Time goes fast. I always wonder that, and of course I have to mention one more time before we slowly bring this to an end. Of course, our main sponsor, the Dreamcatcher Hostel Bar and Cafe. If you're having plans to go and visit Bangkok, the lovely city of angels, or the Venice of the East, as they call it, then please make sure to check in with the Dreamcatcher Hostel Bar and Cafe. Another shout out, of course, goes to Indigo Float. Joe is still in his zone back there, listening to what we are gonna say. Don't go to Indigo. Go float to Indigo. You see, German humor isn't as bad as they say. And I said that with a lot of sarcasm. No, Indigo Float is giving us the opportunity to broadcast live from their facilities. We appreciate that. And also we are going to give away a float or two on our episodes. So make sure to keep your eyes open, your ears even more, and participate by like, share, comment. Let us know what you think, and just be active. And you might be floating before you know it. Tiffany, are you, I have to ask, because I always ask every person I meet, are you gonna go float before your fight?
I would try to, but I'm not sure.
You need to. Certain things in life you just need to do sometimes.
Recommend it before the fight?
No, maybe not before the fight because then you're too relaxed.
Okay.
Maybe a little bit further.
A week before.
Yeah,
Okay.
or after the fight.
Oh yeah, after the fight sounds good.
Yeah. Do you go after a fight? What do you normally do? I mean, do you go straight back to the drawing board, or do you take vacation?
Yeah, I'll take like a short rest, like a week of rest.
Yeah, you can't just let it be.
Let it be, as in.
Yeah, let it be. Not training, just
Yeah, like I'll still
relax.
train a bit, but not as intense. I'll still go to the gym, maybe one session a day.
Just one. You make it sound so easy and normal. Tiffany, of course we mentioned our sponsor here again, and I would also like to mention your social media again. You are on Facebook and you are on Instagram, and we put all that below in the description, of course. So once you're down there liking and commenting and sharing and all this kind of stuff, then you can also, of course, click on Tiffany's social media. I dived shortly into you and photos, but do you enjoy social media, or do you not like social media? Because you have to keep your fighter page up to date. You need to let your friends and family know what you are up to. A burden or something that you enjoy?
Something I enjoy doing.
Yeah? What do you prefer, Facebook or Instagram?
I like Instagram more. I feel like it's more user friendly, and I feel like there's more engagement on Instagram compared to Facebook.
Do you
just me.
Do you prefer your followers on Instagram, or do you prefer your followers on Facebook?
Both. That's a trick question.
That is a trick question. All the Facebook people start to freak out, like, how could you? I always was against Instagram, and then I somehow started because of the podcast, and then I really started to enjoy it. But it's still not the same as when you take your camera and actually go out and take a picture. It is way more fun. And then I end up sending that picture to myself on Facebook, so I can have it on my phone, and then I post it from there. I always go through hell just to put out amazing pictures on Instagram. That's how addictive it is to me at the moment. Do you deal with the social media addiction?
Used to. A little bit. I used to like check my phone.
Somehow we all do it. If we're really honest to ourselves, somehow we all do one way or the other. And that's probably the good thing of training, because you need to put your phone down. You cannot hold your phone while you box with your gloves. Or maybe there's some weird people out there that have their phone in their hand while they box.
Or they will just check their phone every time they have a break, you know.
Sometimes it's when you wake up you just grab that phone. It
like
is
so
addictive.
Natural,
The future, I say it once again, 2018 is up on us. Slowly it is time to bring this to an end, Tiffany. Thank you so much for making the time. You had a media dinner, photo shoot, podcast. Is it all over now, or do you have more to come after this?
No, I think this will be like the last media.
Finally, no more media.
So for next week, it's just staying focused on the fight, fine-tuning and getting ready.
Have you already decided who's going to corner you?
George from Tiger Muay Thai.
George Hickman, who, by the way, can bring up the effort and learn a little bit more German next time. He always that's the first thing he does. Just throws out a German word, and it's always the same. It's funny. Yeah, he's the head coach of MMA at Tiger Muay Thai.
Yeah.
Who is going to join you more next to that? How many people do you have in a corner, by the way?
I have two cornermen for this upcoming fight, and Luke Adams. Yeah, so I used to work with him when I first started competing in MMA.
Okay, so he has been with you for a long time.
Yeah, so he actually went back to California, and he flew back in early this week. Yeah, so he's helping me out for this prep too.
Nice. Yeah. I had who was that? I think that was Javier Trujo from Full Metal Dojo. Probably butchered the name there, but Javier. He was fighting on his last Full Metal Dojo fight, and I found that very entertaining, because at some point you hear the corner the whole time, and at some point he was just shut up. It just goes. Do you get tired of your corner sometimes when they have been with you for so long? I mean, the entire training camp, and then obviously during the years. Do you have moments like that in the cage where you say, just shut the fuck up, I know what I'm doing?
No, I haven't. Not yet.
That would be funny. That would be very funny when you just... You know what would be crazy?
Oh, what?
If you could listen to music while you fight.
Oh, that'd be pretty cool.
Because I like listening to music when I bike or when I train. You know, it's always more enjoyable. Diving is crazy with music. Why not do that in fighting? Develop some crazy headphones that don't hurt you when they get punched.
That'd be interesting.
Would you do that?
Yeah, I'll give it a try.
What kind of track would you listen to when you were fighting with music on?
I don't know, heavy metal.
Heavy metal.
Some angry songs.
Something that pushes you up. Yeah, that's a weird question to end this lovely podcast with. Tiffany, thank you so much for being on the podcast.
Thanks for your time.
It was a good fun. Jakarta 20th in Indonesia. We talking about... of course, I'm cheating, ladies and gentlemen. The Women's Strawweight World Championship main event. First time main event? No.
Yeah, the first main event for the strawweight belt.
Oh, that's. I thought you had one main event before.
On the main card, yeah, but not the main event. Yeah.
Okay, so extra pressure on you there. I'm sorry for mentioning it. It is a card to look forward to. There's a few other cards. I don't know. Do you have time to look forward to other fights on the same card, or is this completely out of your radar?
I think after the Jakarta card, it will be the Manila, if I'm not wrong.
No, I mean on the same card. Fights on the same card. Do you pay attention to other fights?
Yeah, some of the fights. I think there's like 2 other female bouts happening. Yeah, there's 2 other female bouts happening.
Because I would like to mention a few of the fights of the card, because on Tuesday, Wednesday or Thursday, we're going to talk to Mitch Chilson, the Dragon, the color commentary of the One Championship live events. And we're going to talk about the fights, and there's a few I'm looking forward to. I would like to mention them, so make sure to go on onefc.com and make sure to get all your information in about Tiffany Teo and her opponent. And I'm so sorry, I'm going to butcher a lot of names now, but Ying Nang Xiong is going to be your opponent. And we have Stefer Rahadian on the card against Pakistani Mohammed Imran. Co-main event, I was shooting Stefer. He is working hard at Bali MMA. Had to go off for a little... TV commercial shoot. I'm wondering if that is interrupting. Maybe we should call up the people from Bali MMA in the near future, because we didn't have a chance to do a podcast from there. And middleweight Vitaly Big Dash versus Leandro Aitaides.
Yeah, that'll be interesting fight.
Do you predict?
Not really.
Uncomfortable. That is what her face says. So yeah, I'm just gonna go with it, and I'm gonna say it is definitely gonna end in the first round. Either way, I met Vitaly today on my way back from food. He is again Phuket top team tomorrow. Cool dude, but both of these guys are capable of a lot of violence in the cage. So watch out. Sunoto bantamweight versus Tai Riti, the Cambodian MMA fighter, fought in Full Metal Dojo, and Full Metal Dojo is set, by the way, for March, I believe. We should check in with those guys. What's happening over there, because a lot of stuff is always happening with these guys. You never know what's next. Yusuf Sadulev is gonna be back in the cage against leg lock legend Masakazu Imanari from Jiggity Pan. Female fight, Irina Kuselova versus Miao Jie. Yes. Watching that fight or not watching that fight?
I should be watching.
Yeah?
Okay. Watching the fight.
Maybe that was a stupid question too. So that is an interesting card with a lot of interesting fights. Prelims are gonna be live streamed on Facebook, which I really enjoy, by the way, by One Championship, because you can get warmed up on Facebook and then you just get on the live stream. And yes, I do not get paid for this. I totally think it's worth it. It's fun. I really start to get into MMA in general, like
That's good.
Full Metal Dojo, then obviously UFC and One Championship. It's an interesting subject for me, not only as a photographer but also as a spectator, and to get to know the people a little bit more on this podcast. And you see where we are. Me again for the 3rd time or 4th time say that we actually bring this to an end, but the people don't let me. They keep on asking questions. So one last one here. Does Tiffany drink Coca-Cola during her training camps?
Who asked that?
Why do you always ask? Seems like to me that you have shitty friends, that you already know that they ask these kind of questions.
Yeah, I drink Coke Zero.
Coke Zero. Yeah, Joshua Hinger. Coke Zero is the choice here. Not normal Coke, Coke Zero. To be honest, it's all the same shit when it comes down. It's just fucking good. Let's be honest.
0 calories.
That's what they try to make you believe. But Coke in 2018, you don't know what you get.
Yeah,
whoa, that was a nice transition there, because you don't know what you get except for the podcast, because I already said it 3 times before, 4 times before, and now another attempt. Tiffany, thank you so much for coming to the podcast. I really enjoyed that. Looking forward to your fight. Social media, we mentioned everything. 1FC, MMA, we mentioned everything. Social media is the way to go. Support, follow Tiffany, tune in. Thank you so much for tuning into the podcast, of course. If you want to hear more episodes, we will keep on going this week, and we go forward strong, because we have Dean Tremmel, a Kiwi guy who is one of the elite Red Bull action photographers. He is shooting the World Cliff Diving Series. Interesting fella, and always on the road. Looking forward to talk to him on Tuesday. Same time, I believe, 7 o'clock, not 8 o'clock, 7 o'clock. And then after that, Mitch Chilson. Then after that, we have a few more guests confirmed, but maybe we might have some changes in the schedule. So subscribe, find us on YouTube, find us on Podbean, iTunes, just Google Surrounded by Details podcast and you will find us. And if you want to follow me personally, out of whatever reason, get a life, seriously, then go on my social media, Instagram, Facebook, Twitter, smart, all the same, steve.bonhage, S-T-E-V, Steve as always without an E at the end, .bonhage is what you have to look for. And with that being said, Tiffany, any last words?
Nah, all good.
All good.
Yeah.
All right, ladies and gentlemen. See you on Tuesday. Have a wonderful Sunday evening.